Ras Beirut is an upscale residential neighborhood of Beirut. It has sizable populations of Christians, Muslims, Druze, and secular individuals. It incorporates a number of international schools and universities, of which the most famous is the American University of Beirut. The area is also a melting pot of sorts, with students from all over the world residing within its quarters. States: Bliss Street, Rue Clemenceau, Rue Madame Curie, Avenue General de Gaulle, Hamra Street, Rue Jeanne d'Arc, Rue John Kennedy, Avenue de Paris, Rue de Fenici, Rue George Post, Rue Van Dyck, Corniche, Beirut. Archaeology. In 1946, Henry Fleisch from St. Joseph University made an unstratified, open-air survey of the marine terraces of Ras Beirut, recovering various artifacts. Flints have also been recovered by walkers on the nearby beaches. The area is separated from the sands of Beirut sites by the Wadi Abu Chahine, or South Creek, which begins south of the Continental Hotel area. It is an important site for quaternary studies and has been published in various works by Fleisch, August Bergy in 1932, L. Dubertret in 1940 and 1948, Wright in 1960 and 1962, Raoul describes in 1921, Dorothy Garrett in 1960 and R. Nerville in 1933. Stratified sites are numbered in chronological order, with unstratified sites at the end. The first 4 sites contain stratified lower Paleolithic industries from the 45 meters beach level. The next 5 are stratified middle Paleolithic, with a gap in stratified sites to the Chalcolithic found at Site She. Intervening periods, including the Levalloiso-Mousterian, were well represented in surface finds, along with a substantial amount of Neolithic material on a 45 meters terrace. Collections are held in the American University of Beirut and the Museum of Lebanese Prehistory. Many of the sites have been built on and completely destroyed by urbanization. Ras Beirut. The slope Breccia is on a steep limestone cliff above Erzenzia, west of Rugina, at around 52 meters above sea level. It was found by Henry Fleisch and published in 1946, 1956 and 1960, along with Howell in 1959 and Garrett in 1962 and 1965. An early Aequilian or Abvilian rolled biface was found by Fleisch in the Breccia above Rugina that predates all of the other tools found at Ras Beirut. An abundant Middle Aequilian industry was also found. Ras Beirut 2, or the offshore bar, is a fossil bar of flint, gravel and marine organisms, 2.5 meters under the soil next to and under Rugina. It was studied by Henry Fleisch during the digging of a drainage trench, who published results in 1951 and 1954. It is also mentioned by Howell in 1959 and Dorothy Garrett in 1960. Numerous pieces with no bifaces were found and considered to be Talyashan with some Levallois influence. The site possibly still exists under the road. Ras Beirut 3, a depot B, is northeast of Rugina and was again found by Father Fleisch, who published his studies in 1950 and 1956. Depot A contained an early Levallois industry with bifaces and a type of pick resembling Bur Hassan picks. Ras Beirut I. Virbergis Trench is 100 meters east of Pigeon Rock, around 1.5 meters beneath the soil on the slope of the 45 meters terrace. The site was found by August Bergy and published in 1932. Henry Fleisch also studied the area with and published some new discoveries in 1956. Early Levalloisian industries were found, including bifacial Bur Hassan picks in the 20 cm layer on the bedrock. Larger flint flakes were found in the 80 cm layer above this. Fleisch recovered more of the earlier type of industry when the Corniche Road was widened and is suggested to still exist under a side road that leads to the Federal Hotel. Ras Beirut Verberges, +8. Beach is 800 meters south of Pigeon Rock on the way to St. Elie Beach at around 15 meters above sea level opposite the Continental Hotel. A layer of pebbles, marine shells and flints in the sandstone was found by August Bergy and studied by Beirut.It in 1937 and 1940, of Ormuz in 1947, Haller in 1945, Fleisch in 1956 and 1962, Howell in 1959 and Dorothy Garrett in 1960. Levalloisian materials are more evolved at this site, and a micro-Levalloisian series of tools were also found. Ras Beirut via South Creek Trench is the same fossil beach in a section on the south bank of South Creek, 100 meters north of Ras Beirut v. It was discovered by Henry Fleisch and published in 1956. Two varieties of Levalloisian were found, one with finely produced thin flakes, the other with coarse thick ones. A micro-Levalloisian industry accompanied it. Ras Beirut Vi is 200 meters north of Raoul describes excavations at Beirut.It at the head of a small bay between two stream beds on a 15 meters terrace. A micro-Levalloisian industry was found by Henry Fleisch and published in 1948 and 1956, dating to the time when the 15 meters sea level regressed. Ras Beirut 7 South Creek is on the west side of the Corniche Road, west of the Continental Hotel where the Wadi Abu Chahine drops to sea level. The site is on the north bank of the stream in a 5 meters long cavity in the cliff filled with soils. Fleisch found Levalloisian and micro-Levalloisian industries in the upper layers. The site has now disappeared. Ras Beirut-8 A Bay of Pigeon Rock is in a gully on the south cliff in the Bay of Pigeon Rock. Material was recovered in brecciated beach deposits representing a Levalloisian industry with traces of micro-Levalloisian. This was studied by Fleisch and published in 1954 and 1956. Ras Beirut-IX A depot facing Côte 34 was discovered by Fleisch opposite the start of the Rugin at 500 meters south of Pigeon Rock. The material is suggested to date to the time when the sea had retreated from the 15 meters level and consists of a Levalloisian industry with Mousterian influence with large, thin flakes. Some micro-Levalloisian pieces were also found. Ras Beirut-X A Bain Militaire was originally called Sud-Fair by its discoverer August Bergy. It was mentioned by Fleisch in 1956 as being in a rainwater gully 200 meters south of Bain Militaire. Material was suggested to be of the Levallois form with some Berhassan pigs similar to those at Ras Beirut 3 and IV but from a different level. Ras Beirut Shia Beirut.It is on the second headland south of Pigeon Rock on the 15 meters terrace and was excavated by Raoul describes in 1914, publishing his studies in 1921 and originally suggesting he had found a large number of tools and waste from a Solutrean industry in the black soil that covered the limestone headland at a depth of 1 meter. Nerviel and Haller studied the site and materials again in 1933, reclassifying it as Chalcolithic with a lower middle Paleolithic level along with an intervening later that describes had missed. Jacques Coven has compared it with the Neolithic Ancient period at Byblos suggested to date between 3800 to 3650 BCE. The site is notable for a type tool called the Beirut.It point, a stylet ranging from 2 inches to 8 inches in length and may have been fleshing tools, but their exact use is uncertain. These were first observed by Dawson in 1884 and later by Godefroy Zoomoffen in 1910. The industry includes javelins, borers, picks and assorted other tools. It has been described by Lorraine Copeland and Peter Wescombe as probably the richest factory site in Lebanon, with hundreds of pieces recovered and held in the National Museum of Beirut. Ras Beirut.12 is thought to be in the area below the lighthouse and was found by the scribes. It is recorded as a surface Acheulean site but appears to be a group of Neolithic pick along with factory waste. Construction of a playing field has covered the site with a false layer. Ras Beirut.13 A field south of Pigeon Rock is a cultivated field on the headland south of Pigeon Rock where a surface site was found by August Bergian, published in 1932. The Lavallois industry is nicknamed Golden Mousterian due to it having a yellow-gold color and sheen. Forms include large broad flakes along with medium-sized points and blades with many pieces having traces of concretion. Ras Beirut.14 or Orb campus is part of the Ras Beirut station within the grounds of the American University of Beirut, discussed by Zoomoffen, where thick, white Middle Paleolithic flakes were found on the slopes above the 15 meters terrace that have now been turned into a playing field next to International College steps. Some golden Mousterian pieces were found further down the slope.